Hi everyone, I'm Carolina Monte and this is what's happening in Brazil. We start by updating you on the latest news from the country. Ten people that were accused of planning the killing of President Lula, his VP, and the justice from Supreme Court Alexandre de Moraes have become defendants and will face charges. Now, 31 people are accused of participating in this coup plot, including 9 armed force members and 1 federal policeman. 84% of black people in Brazil said they have suffered racial discrimination, according to a survey backed by the Ministry of Racial Equality. The research also showed that 51% of the black population have felt treated with less politeness because of the color of the skin. Among white people, the percentage stood at only 14%. Brazil broke the record for wildfires in 2024. The country also tripled the greenhouse gases emission. The data, published by the World Resources Institute, showed that for the first time since 2021, wildfires were the main cause of tropical forest loss all over the world. President Lula's second visit to China in his current term has yielded agreements in several sectors for both countries. In today's Story of the Week, you'll find an account of the trip by BDF's correspondent in China, Mauro Ramos.
Brazil and China signed 20 cooperation agreements in sectors such as agriculture, finance, science and technology, among many others, during Lula's second visit to China during his current presidential term. The first agreement formalized the integration of the Lula government's Growth Acceleration Program and other policies with the Belt and Road Initiative, an international cooperation project promoted by China. The partnership began to build in November last year during President Xi Jinping's visit to Brazil. Another highlight was the currency swap agreement signed between the central banks of the two countries. This type of instrument allows currencies to be exchanged for a set period, making easier direct trade, in this case between Brazil and China, without the need to use the US dollar.
Never have so many projects being discussed systematically in such a short time. The first concrete results can already be seen. Cooperation between the two countries' central banks will allow for greater financial integration and facilitate investments.
The Brazilian Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Luciana Santos, participated in 2 agreements. One to establish a Chinese-Brazilian Technology Transfer Center, and another with China's Space Administration to share space data with countries in Latin America and the Caribbean.
We are signing a memorandum of understanding to create a Chinese-Brazilian Technology Transfer Center so that we can reduce the learning curve in various areas, including artificial intelligence, robotics, and the automotive sector, uses semiconductors due to the automotive transition to hybrid vehicles and various other uses of both semiconductors and artificial intelligence.
During his visit, President Lula took part in the 4th China CELAC Ministerial Forum alongside Presidents Gustavo Petro of Colombia, Gabriel Boric of Chile, Uruguayan Chancellor Mario Lubetkin, and former Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff, currently the head of the BRICS Bank. During the event, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi once again defended the sovereignty of Latin America and Caribbean countries.
Latin America is the common home of Latin American peoples, not the backyard of any country. China firmly supports the countries of Latin America and the Caribbean in defending their independence, autonomy, and unity for mutual strengthening in seeking a path of modernization that corresponds to their national realities and opposes power politics and interference in their internal affairs.
President Xi Jinping presented 5 major projects between China and Latin America and the Caribbean, which will include, for instance, a credit line of almost 52 billion reais, over $9.2 billion, for the development of the region. He also spoke about visa exemptions, initially for 5 countries.
As an ancient Chinese poem says, the joy of life lies in having bosom friends. And as a Latin America proverb says, having a true friend means having a rare treasure. No matter how the international scenarios changes, China will always be a good friend and a partner to the countries of Latin America and the Caribbean. Let's join hands and move forward, side by side, on our respective modernization journeys, working together to write a new chapter in building a Chinese, Latin American, and Caribbean community with a shared future.
Created as safe spaces for the fight against racial segregation in Brazil, Black social clubs were born out of the need to strengthen the Black population. The first one was founded during the period of slavery in 1872 to provide a dignified burial for enslaved people. From then on, social clubs continued to exist in Brazil with the same aim of guaranteeing a dignified life and strengthening Black culture in the country.
Black social clubs play a historic role in the struggle for equal rights in Brazil. Over the decades, in addition to being spaces for meetings, leisure, and preservation of collective memory, they have also become hotspots of resistance and existence in the face of structural inequalities in the country. Professor Jenny Vargas is co-author of the recently released book Black Clubs and Social Protagonism.
Clube Social Negro é lugar de memória.
The Black Social Club is a place of memory, of Black resistance. It is about heritage and it is also power. Why is it a memory? Because as the oldest club in Brazil, created in 1872, all the people who organized this club continue to exist on their own, and many of the descendants and remnants who are fighting today for these clubs to stand and continue to play the role they did in the past are here with many stories to tell. They can, in a certain way, and in a very special way, contribute to what we talk about, which is to tell the story of the Black people in Brazil.
Lucila Helena de Oliveira is vice president of another club, the Aristocrat, founded in 1961 by São Paulo's Black elite who were barred from joining the city's traditional clubs.
As pessoas, os homens e as mulheres que fundaram o clube na década de 60, eles eram da área do esporte.
The people, men and women who founded the club in the 1960s were linked to sports, and they were called to play, to do some performances at the clubs, but when it came to using the pool, it wasn't possible. From our group came the first Black city councilor of São Paulo, Teodosina Ribeiro, who later became a state deputy for 3 terms. And we also had Adalberto Camargo, who was here in Brasília for 6 terms as a federal deputy. And this also opened doors for other women and men to take a step further. State Deputy Leci Brandão always mentions us and says her great inspiration is Teodosina Ribeiro.
In 2014, the Brazilian government mapped the Black social clubs in the country. According to the Institute of Historical, Artistic and National Heritage, also known as IFAM in Portuguese, 79 clubs were mapped in the states of Rio Grande do Sul, Santa Catarina, Rio de Janeiro, Paraná, Bahia, São Paulo, and Minas Gerais. The most recent data from the Black social clubs in Brazil and Uruguay project, coordinated by Professor Jenny Vargas, found that there are approximately 130 Black social clubs in Brazil. The president of the Palmares Cultural Foundation, João Jorge Rodrigues, reinforces the power of these clubs.
In the sum of places aimed at candomblé rituals, quilombos, individual artists, music, culture, carnival, everything that we are and that survives from the period before abolition to the present day.
With most of its inhabitants identifying as Black, the Federal District is the newest place in the country to have a Black social club. The organization's president, Heitor Perpétuo, celebrates it.
Além de luta, né?
As well as fighting, we also wanted it to be a place of celebration, of looking at our power and being able to value our leadership. So the Black Social Club of Brasilia was born with this goal of being a leisure time, strengthening economy empowerment, Black initiatives in general.
Então, o Clube Social Negro também.
The Black Social Club is a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse for the economy, it's a powerhouse for Afro-entrepreneurship, it's a powerhouse for political articulations and everything that we once dreamed of being and what we still aspire to be in this country. We want it to be an anti-racist country and that it provides everything the Black population still deserves to have.
Did you like the show? So hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications. We'll see you next week.